If you've got a groundhog living in or near your yard, it probably feels like it showed up out of nowhere. One day, everything looks fine, and the next, you're seeing holes, tunnels, chewed plants, and that unmistakable feeling that something has decided your garden is now home. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Groundhogs don't choose yards randomly. They are incredibly selective animals. And if one picked your property, it's because you're offering exactly what it's looking for. The good news is, once you understand why groundhogs choose certain yards, you can make a few quiet, humane changes that often convince them to move on, without harming them, trapping them, or turning your garden into a battleground. Welcome back to Buckeye Bloomstead, where we focus on practical gardening, peaceful wildlife solutions, and living a little more prepared, without panic or extremes. Today, we're talking about why groundhogs choose certain yards, and more importantly, how to make your space far less appealing to them in the first place. Now, I'm going to focus mainly on groundhogs, since that's what most of us deal with here in the Midwest and Eastern U.S. But if you're watching from the West and dealing with gophers instead, many of these same principles still apply, because burrowing animals are all looking for the same basic things: food, shelter, safety, and predictability. Did you know? Groundhogs are opportunists, not villains. Groundhogs aren't aggressive. They aren't out to ruin gardens. They're survivalists. In the wild, they're constantly balancing food availability, predator risk, shelter, energy use. Your yard gets chosen when it makes that balance easy. Think of it less like an invasion and more like a real estate decision. Let's start with the biggest factor: food access. Groundhogs love tender greens, vegetable gardens, fallen fruit, clover, overgrown edges. If food is easy to reach and doesn't require crossing open ground, your yard moves to the top of the list. Things that accidentally attract them: garden beds near cover, compost piles with scraps, windfall apples or pears, unharvested vegetables. The goal here isn't to eliminate food entirely. That's unrealistic. The goal is to make food less convenient. Next comes shelter. Groundhogs prefer places where they can dig easily, stay dry, stay hidden. Common shelter hotspots: under sheds, beneath decks or porches, along foundations, brush piles, rock walls, tall unmowed grass. If your yard offers both food and shelter close together, you've essentially created a perfect setup. This is where prevention starts to matter more than removal. Groundhogs are cautious animals. They choose yards where human activity is predictable. There are few sudden disturbances. Paths stay the same day after day. If they can move from burrow to food using the same routes without surprises, they feel safe enough to stay long-term. That predictability works against you. Groundhogs are cautious animals. They choose yards where human activity is predictable. There are few sudden disturbances. Paths stay the same day after day. If they can move from burrow to food using the same routes without surprises, they feel safe enough to stay long-term. That predictability works against you. Unpredictability alone can make an area less desirable. And this doesn't mean turning your garden upside down or creating chaos. It simply means not allowing any one area to feel permanently safe or unchanging. Groundhogs thrive on routine. Once they establish a pattern, where they travel, where they feed, where they retreat, they stick to it. When that routine starts to feel unreliable, they often begin looking for a quieter, more predictable place to settle. Let's talk about some practical examples and what breaking their routine actually looks like in real life. Changing walking paths is a great place to start. If you tend to walk the same route through your yard every day, especially near garden beds or burrow areas, consider switching it up. Walk at different times. Take a slightly different route. Pause in areas you normally pass by quickly. That gentle human presence reminds them the space isn't as quiet and undisturbed as they thought. Moving garden items occasionally is another simple but effective step. This could be pots, trellises, lightweight fencing, garden decor, even empty containers. Groundhogs rely heavily on memory and familiarity. When objects they use as visual markers suddenly aren't where they expect them to be, it creates hesitation. That hesitation makes them nervous, and nervous animals don't linger long. Avoid letting areas stay untouched for long periods. If a corner of your yard hasn't been walked through, trimmed, or disturbed in weeks, it can quickly become a comfort zone for wildlife. Even something as simple as occasional trimming, raking, or standing in that space for a few minutes can make a difference. Another major step in making your yard less appealing to groundhogs is reducing easy shelter. Groundhogs are constantly scanning their surroundings, not just for food, but for places where they can disappear quickly if something doesn't feel right. They're looking for areas that offer cover from predators, protection from the weather, and more than one escape route. If they sense they can eat and retreat to safety within seconds, that's when a yard starts to feel like a long-term home. Some of the most common problem areas tend to be spaces we don't think much about. The open areas beneath decks and porches, small gaps under sheds, wood piles placed too close to garden beds, and dense shrubs growing right up against foundations can all create perfect shelter zones. These spots give groundhogs exactly what they want: shade, cover, and a quick way out. When shelter and food are close together, the risk for them is low, and that's what keeps them coming back. One helpful step is blocking access under structures using hardware cloth or sturdy fencing. This isn't about trapping a groundhog or forcing it out. It's about preventing new burrows from forming and sending a clear message that this space is no longer available. Here is a pro tip. It was hard to show in this photo, but we recommend installing hardware cloth, also called wire mesh. If you look closely, you can see part of it behind the wood plank, and by running it straight down from the base of your shed or building, then bend it outward to form an L shape extending about 2 feet away from the structure. This creates an underground barrier that prevents animals from burrowing beneath it. Once secured, cover the mesh with soil or mulch to camouflage it naturally. Brush piles and stacked materials can also be quietly relocated farther away from gardens. You don't have to eliminate natural areas entirely. Wildlife needs them, but separating shelter from food sources makes a big difference. When groundhogs have to travel farther and cross more open ground, they often decide it's simply not worth the effort. Another quiet but very effective way to make your yard less appealing is by increasing visibility and exposure. Groundhogs prefer to move through areas where they can stay hidden. Tall grass, dense ground cover, and tightly packed shrubs allow them to travel from one place to another without ever feeling exposed. When those hidden pathways exist, they feel protected, even when they're out in the open. By trimming back overgrown edges, thinning dense plantings, and opening up tight transitions between garden areas, you change how safe the space feels to them. Suddenly, moving from shelter to food requires crossing more open ground, and that increases their sense of risk. You don't need to strip your yard bare or remove plants you love. Even modest changes, clearer sight lines, shorter grass along borders, or a little extra space between plantings can make a noticeable difference. When groundhogs feel seen, they're far less comfortable lingering. If you're planning new garden beds or adjusting existing ones, layout plays a bigger role than many people realize. Groundhogs are far more likely to target gardens that sit directly next to cover. When food is planted right along fences, sheds, decks, or dense shrubs, it creates a short, low-risk commute between eating and hiding. Whenever possible, try placing high-value plants farther away from structures and cover. Raised beds surrounded by open ground are much less attractive than gardens tucked into corners or edges. Even a few extra feet of open space can change how a groundhog views the area. This isn't always about rebuilding your garden. Sometimes it's just being mindful of where you plant favorites and keeping those areas a little more exposed. Food is always part of the equation. Groundhogs are efficient feeders. If food is easy to reach, predictable, and abundant, they're likely to stay. But when food becomes harder to access or less reliable, many groundhogs quietly move on. Harvesting produce promptly helps more than people expect. Removing fallen fruit, securing compost piles, and avoiding leaving pet food or livestock feed outside can eliminate unintended rewards. Even small things, like spilled seed or forgotten scraps, can signal that food is readily available. When those easy wins disappear, the incentive to stay often disappears with them. Why this approach works long-term? What makes this approach effective is that you're not reacting to the animal. You're changing the conditions that attracted it in the first place. Instead of constantly chasing solutions, you're addressing the underlying reasons groundhogs choose certain yards. That reduces repeat visits, protects your garden season after season, and creates a more balanced relationship with the wildlife around you. It's calmer, it's more sustainable, and it puts you back in control of your space without conflict. Now, sometimes a groundhog is already well established, and these changes alone may not be enough to encourage them to leave right away. If that's the case, I've shared humane ways to encourage groundhogs to move on in another video, without harming them or creating unnecessary risk for people or animals. I'll link that video for you here. Why prevention beats removal every time. Before we wrap up, there's one more piece of this that's worth talking about, and it's something many gardeners don't consider at first. When groundhogs become a problem, our instinct is often to focus on removal. We want the animal gone so we can get back to enjoying our garden. And in some cases, removal is necessary, especially when an animal is already well established. But prevention changes the story entirely. When you focus on making your yard less appealing in the first place, you're not just solving today's problem, you're preventing the next one. Removing one groundhog without changing the environment often means another one eventually moves in to take its place. From their perspective, nothing about the space has changed. Prevention breaks that cycle. By adjusting food access, shelter, visibility, and predictability, you're quietly sending a message that this yard no longer offers the easy advantages it once did. And when that happens, groundhogs often make the decision to move on all by themselves. This approach also reduces stress, both for you and for the wildlife around you. There's no constant monitoring, no repeated interventions, and no feeling like you're always reacting to the next issue. Instead, you're creating a space that naturally discourages unwanted visitors while still supporting a healthy ecosystem. Let's take a look at the long view of things. Thinking like a groundhog. One of the most helpful shifts you can make is learning to see your yard the way a groundhog does. They aren't looking at your garden emotionally. They aren't attached to it. They're evaluating risk versus reward every single day. If the balance tips even slightly toward risk, more exposure, more effort, more uncertainty, many groundhogs decide the location isn't worth it. That's why small changes often work better than dramatic ones. You don't need to eliminate every plant they like or turn your yard into open ground. You just need to interrupt the patterns that make your space feel safe and predictable to them. Once those patterns disappear, your yard becomes just another option, not the best one. This kind of prevention-focused approach fits naturally into long-term gardening and homesteading. It's quieter, it's more thoughtful, and it respects the reality that we share our spaces with wildlife. Instead of fighting nature, you're working with it, guiding animals away from areas where they cause problems and allowing them to settle where they're less likely to create conflict. Over time, this approach leads to fewer repeat issues, healthier gardens, and far less frustration. And that's really the goal. Not just protecting what you grow, but enjoying the space you've worked so hard to create. Groundhogs aren't acting out of malice. They're responding to opportunity. And once that opportunity disappears, many of them quietly move on. You don't need to turn your yard into a fortress. You just need to make it less inviting. If you found this helpful, stay with us here at Buckeye Bloomstead. We focus on practical gardening, peaceful solutions, and living a little more prepared, one thoughtful step at a time. Thanks for spending a bit of your day with us.